The Sunday school lesson for November 12th, 2023 is David's Sin and Punishment. 2 Samuel chapter 11, verses 2 through 5, verses 14 through 18, verses 26 through 27, and chapter 12, verses 13 through 15. Welcome, viewers and subscribers, to my channel, The Backstory and More. If you are interested in knowing what happens before each Sunday school lesson, you are at the right place. Notice the agenda. I will share the backstory, read the lesson text, and offer a brief lesson summary. The backstory. Let's begin. At the time of today's lesson, the Israelite army was fighting the Ammonites, Genesis chapter 19, verse 38. The date was about 990 BC. The particular backdrop for us is a siege of the Ammonite capital, Rabbah. This was located at the site of the modern city of Ammon, Jordan. Situated at the sources of the Jabbok River, the city was about 40 miles east of Jerusalem. With a good general directing his army, a king could stay home to take care of administrative concerns or personal matters. King David had such a man in Joab, according to 2 Samuel chapter 8, verse 16. Although not without ethical problems of his own, Joab was a fierce and unrelenting warrior. At that time, very loyal to David. One day, while home, David seemed to have been enjoying a nap on the roof. After waking, he began to walk around the roof, according to 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 2. Location of David's palace. The highest point in Jerusalem was Mount Zion. Next to the mount on the south side was David's palace, making his roof the second highest position in the small city. This is how David could have observed activity on a nearby rooftop. 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 2b. Verses 2 through 3. And it came to pass in an eventide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired after the woman. And one said, Is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? Verses 4 through 5. And David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her. For she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned unto her house. And the woman conceived, and sent and told David, and said, I am with child. Verses 14 through 15. And it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab, and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, Set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. Verses 16 through 18. And it came to pass, when Joab observed the city, that he assigned Uriah unto a place where he knew that valiant men were. And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab. And there fell some of the people of the servants of David. And Uriah the Hittite died also. Then Joab sent and told David all the things concerning the war. Verses 26 through 27. And when the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah, her husband, was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when the morning was past, David sent and fetched her to his house, and she became his wife, and bare him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord. Chapter 12, verses 13 through 15. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, the Lord also hath put away thy sin. Thou shalt not die. Howbeit, because by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, the child also that is born unto thee shall surely die. And Nathan departed unto his house, and the Lord struck the child that Uriah's wife bare unto David, and it was very sick. A summary. Rather than battling with his men, David was relaxing in Jerusalem. One evening, David was on the roof of the palace. In the crowded city of Jerusalem, every house had a flat roof that could be used as we might use a porch or patio, a pleasant place to relax in the open air. From his vantage point, David saw a beautiful neighbor taking her bath. She may have been in an enclosed courtyard of her house, with walls around her, but no roof overhead. Attracted to the woman, David found out her identity and then sent messengers to bring her to him, and he slept with her. The text gives no hints about her willingness or reluctance. While some have traditionally understood Bathsheba to have been a seductress who staged her bath in order to entice the king, others see this as the ultimate version of sexual harassment, in which the king had all the power and this married woman was put into a situation in which she had no choice but to comply. It is worth noting that David sent more than one person to bring Bathsheba to him, possibly indicating that if she seemed reluctant to come, they could overpower her. In any case, an explanation is mere speculation. What is clear, however, is the text's focus on David, and for him, the record is clear. Though for most of his life he did what was right in God's eyes, what he did on this occasion was absolutely wrong. The thing David had done displeased the Lord. When David learned that Bathsheba was pregnant as a result of their sexual encounter, his first thought was to make it appear that the baby belonged to her husband Uriah. David arranged for Uriah to be brought home from the battlefield, hoping that he would have sexual relations with his wife and then assume that he was the father of Bathsheba's baby. As David planned, Uriah was killed in battle with the Amorites. Killed in battle with the Ammonites. The hypocrisy of the report of Uriah's death and David's equally hypocritical response only made the affair more disgusting to God. The text makes it clear that Bathsheba mourned for her husband. Possibly, she also mourned for her situation. She was pregnant and suddenly a widow. She was entirely at the mercy of the king. After a brief period of letting Bathsheba mourn, David hurriedly had Bathsheba brought to his palace. There, perhaps in a private ceremony, he married Bathsheba, adding another wife to his already large harem of wives and concubines. After several months, Bathsheba gave birth to a son. It may have appeared to David that he'd gotten away with it, that he'd succeeded in his deception and hidden away his sins of adultery and murder. But now the stage was set for the prophet Nathan's entrance. Though David's confession brought him personal forgiveness, the course of events, his choices set in motion, remained unchanged. The most immediate consequence was the sickness and death of his child. Thank you so much for watching. Join me soon for the next backstory and more. Stay safe and may God bless.